So Brent should be back tomorrow. I think Rick Jones and I think BJ Nelson are going to join us a little bit later on as well. We'll talk some school board stuff, but lots to get to. Let's start with the weather, brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerlam Hayfeed and Ranch Services. Stop on by for all you need for your farm, your home, your ranch, livestock, pets, great gift ideas. They've got it all. Advice that can help you through whether you're raising chickens for the first time and you stop by and get chicks, or they usually have bunnies there as well. But they can help you out. 56 degrees, heading to a high today of 85. Going to be warmer than yesterday for sure. But these nice, cool evenings are nice and cool. There's Rick Jones in the bullpen. We'll get to him. We'll get him on in a little bit here. But got a few things to get to first. Let's talk about what happened in Gaza yesterday, because a hospital was struck by a missile. Hamas is claiming that it was an airstrike from Israel. Israel's claiming they weren't involved, and that it was a misfired rocket. Oh, look what the cat drug in.
The cat?
There you go. Junior Samples.
Good morning. Good morning. I had
First
that
off,
long commute across the
yeah, you had to come
passageway.
Yeah, well, I'm sure your plumbing's working probably pretty good.
Well, I had to
between
stop
shows
and tend to some business.
yeah. But does anybody? First off, let's change the narrative on this a little bit, because we tend to forget Hamas was elected by the people of Gaza to represent them. So not only they're a terrorist organization, they're a governmental agency. They are the government. So they're hiding behind rules of engagement, if you will, that are ridiculous, first off. Right?
I'd like to have seen what kind of election
But this is a war.
they had. I mean, who would elect those nutcakes?
Other nutcakes?
Other nutcakes? Exactly.
But this is a war.
Yes, it is.
This wasn't a terrorist attack. This is a war. This was a declaration of war on Israel.
It sure was.
And until, well, they'll never. The media will never change the narrative that this was a terror attack. And as details are coming out on this thing gets more and more interesting. The only ones that want peace in the Middle East is Israel and the Jews. Hamas doesn't want peace. They want eradication of the Jews. Israel had a work visa permit program for folks from Gaza to come into Israel to work. Some of those on that visa
Questionable?
used that visa to get into Israel and attack
Question.
2 Saturdays ago.
Well, now they're catching them at our border.
Oh, they're here.
Yeah, they're already here. So, I mean, this is bad. When I saw that they had attacked Israel, I'm like, oh, this is not going to be good.
No, and then
Israel's going to go over there and just level the joint and then take the brunt for it.
Who the hell believes Hamas when they say that it was a Israeli rocket? I mean, first thing I said, yeah, there's no way.
No way.
This is a group that, and there's no doubt about this. Even the leftist media, the propaganda arm of the Biden administration has admitted this. Hamas uses schools and hospitals
Always
to launch rockets into Israel.
Well, they'll hold up
hide.
a kid as a shield.
Yeah.
So, and I got to admit it, I got surprised this morning when I woke up and was listening to the news before I came in. Joe Biden has said there's no way Israel could have launched a rocket into that hospital. This is the other team.
Yeah. I was surprised when Sleepy Joe repeated that, because the leftist media has done everything they can to try to discredit that narrative.
I was shocked and awe.
And when I first heard a hospital was hit, the first thing that came to my mind yesterday afternoon or evening when I heard that, this is not Israel.
No.
This is Hamas.
Yes.
I wouldn't put it past them, and I don't put it past them. And then yesterday, a report aired by PBS, believe it or not, where they went in after the attacks and they found a stash of weapons in a building along the border. I think on the Israeli side. So they've been smuggling weapons across, back and forth using the tunnels. Yeah.
Tunnels? They have tunnels?
Yeah. Money that was supposed to be used for food, infrastructure.
Well, that's more than they can say for Obama. We were supposed to have shovel-ready jobs. Look at them. They actually did.
Yeah, Steve Kidder says the existence of the Jews is a provocation to the extremists. Yep. The Jews could all move to southern Florida and the extremists would still declare jihad. It's not about land. No, it never was.
This
is about eradicating people. Yeah, this is about genocide and eradicating the Jews. That's all it is. And you have the brother of the local imam here on social media on the weekend claiming that this attack by Israel was an attack on all 2 billion Muslims in the world, not just the Palestinians.
Here we go. That was in town?
No, his brother. I don't know where he is, but he was on Facebook. Yeah. No, I watched the video. Probably still on there. He was also claiming that his videos have been taken down, but
nah.
I looked through the scroll of the feed I was watching, lots of videos spewing this garbage.
And not one word from our mosque here in town about anything.
No.
Nothing.
So, but I mean this, so there's that. Joe Biden arrives.
Yep. Denied.
I was shocked this morning when he said that let's all signs are pointing to Hamas firing this thing. But what they found when they found the stash of weapons,
they should have just distributed them to the Israelis.
Anti-tank munitions, mortars, Iranian-made mortar. They found North Korean-made weapons. So I mean, we know where
you think they went through the background check to get them?
Probably. Signed their paperwork, waited 3 days. Yeah. Well, James says, duh, but James, you have to understand. Without hard proof that this existed, the media, complicit with the propaganda of the oppressed versus the oppressor, didn't believe that Iran was capable of supplying terrorists with weapons.
And this shows you right here that crazy is patient. They will stockpile, and they're patient. They'll wait the long game.
And they plan.
Yep.
No, absolutely.
I mean, look at the towers. By the way, don't forget the towers. Okay? That was radical Islam that did that. And it took them, 5 years to train them pilots to fly them planes? So, yeah, they crazy takes its time.
Yeah, James Kerr says, I'm a little biased since I've seen it myself in the past, so I don't need the media to prove it to him. Yeah, but you're
tainted. Well, we knew that. Love you, brother.
Not going to go there, but
yeah. Well, James gives me crap on my internet, on my text all the time.
But James, whatever you've seen that's not real. Come on, man. Your eyes, you can't believe what you see.
Absolutely.
And watch, they'll spin this. Oh, the Israelis were making that up. You watch.
Can't believe what the news says.
Yeah. You watch.
Well, there was a college professor who said that the attack from Hamas into Israel moved him, made him excited, made him giddy, and now they're looking to remove him. It was one of them Ivy League schools up north. I don't pay attention to which one it is because they're all about the same up there. So they're all nutcakes.
Yeah, these kids doing what they're doing, or they're being stupid.
Yeah, they are.
I don't.
Brainwashed.
I'm not a cancellation guy. I don't call for people to be canceled. But if somebody doesn't want to hire you because you were pro Hamas following the terror attack,
that's their privilege.
then you know what? Maybe next time you'll actually become informed.
Or think about what you do
think
before
about
you
what
do
you
it.
say. Yeah.
Yeah.
At the very least, even if you don't want to become informed, just maybe think about what you're going to say.
Well, that never worked for me.
No. I think about it. I just usually say it anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the wife knows that there's no roadblock between what's half up here.
Well, they just removed it too.
Yeah, that's right.
That kidney stone was the only thing keeping you sane.
Oh man, I'm telling you, it definitely set me back.
So
I feel a bunch better now.
So I mean, I was skeptical of Joe Biden's visit.
I thought it was put up by Kamala Harris.
Well, I think Joe's the one pushing for it more than Benjamin Netanyahu wants him there. But I think it's good to show the support.
We can do that from here. He doesn't need to be over there.
He doesn't need to be here either, to be honest.
Well, but let him go over there.
I'd rather him over there than over here. He ain't gonna. But I just hope he doesn't embarrass us.
Roll that dice.
I mean, the only good thing is he probably got to sleep the whole way there. Maybe they sedated him so that he was fresh. But
he couldn't be fresh unless they zipped him up in a Ziploc
There
bag.
you go. Stuck him in an oxygen tent like Michael Jackson used to live in. But I mean, and we got 2,000 troops ready. They don't need our troops.
No.
They've got 300,000 or 2,000 are dropping the bucket.
Nope.
And they haven't even asked for them. In fact, Israel hasn't really asked. They appreciated the support. I don't recall them asking for anybody's support.
Unlike if we didn't learn anything, Vietnam, stay out of a war we're not involved in. We don't need observers over there.
Other than unlike Ukraine, who have just gone around the world asking for money.
Well, they launder it so well.
Caselin Kemp says Biden's a joke. His appearance makes no difference. He's an embarrassment to this great country. I agree completely.
Concur 100%.
But it does show in the wake of the calls for restraint.
Isn't that amazing? It calls for restraint. It has to be an equal and a response. They launch a grenade, we launch a grenade. No.
Well, but it stops there, right? Because we can't go and behead babies of Palestinian mothers after we rip them from their arms, or the Israelis couldn't, right? Because that's. Yeah.
I wonder how many Palestinian women have been raped by Israelis. None. I mean, the human atrocities that Palestinian people have pulled on Israel is terrible.
Yeah.
Not just the killing, but
no, that's ridiculous. And the way it's been spun by the Western media is mind-boggling, and just proves that they don't have a clue.
Kool-Aid.
Yep, no, absolutely. Daniel Wade White checking in. Kerry Bump, good morning. Roy Gutierrez, the aforementioned James Kurth, Ryan Hopping says go Astros. Stephen Kidder says calling it a misdirected missile is generous. Hamas wants to display dead bodies and blame Israel.
Exactly.
Well, that's exactly it.
That's exactly. They're going to kill their own people.
BJ Nelson, good morning. Stephanie Conti checking in. Linda Christ.
Good morning, Sugar.
Jarrett McCrugan, Joe Gomez, Marvin Mickish, Tammy Keeling, Justin Glass, Scott Snow, Steve Kidder, Greg Garcia. I think Scott Tomko's also in. Will Vincent checking in.
Yep.
I conveniently left my phone on the counter today, so
you can use
I'm
mine.
phoneless. But no, we're good.
It's a Samsung.
I don't know how to use it. It's big.
I got it at
VCS company.
VCS company.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good.
pretty nice.
They have all the phones for you.
Yeah, I mean it's a nice place.
Yeah.
They did a good job.
Yeah, well, they got you one big enough that you can see it.
That's right.
That's all.
I don't
that
even have
matters.
to use my glasses on that one.
No bifocals needed here. You can stop by the only locally owned and authorized AT&T retailer right there, part of the VCS companies in the Hartman Communication Empire.
The girls in there are
On Crow
really,
Boulevard.
really fun.
Yeah, and they know
They're
what
nice gals.
they put up with you, is what you're saying.
Well, no, they actually enjoy it when I come in there because I'm messing with them, not showing pictures of my donkeys.
Oh,
and
that's all
stuff.
they
Yeah.
want to see.
Yeah, showing off my ass in there. Alan's Wrecker Service.
Opening line when you walk in. You want to see pictures of my ass? Everybody runs.
That's what Linda says.
Yeah. No,
Get your ass in
she
here.
doesn't have any pictures of you. She just stands. You want to see my ass and points. Next to
I
her.
asked her, I said, you need to go get your glasses checked. Nope. I see you just fine.
She wears that shirt with the finger that says, "I'm with stupid."
Absolutely.
Allen's Record Service, 578-6300. Saw an Allen's truck again yesterday with something on the back of it, so they're busy. They're
Constantly rolling
Yep.
through this community.
Yep,
They've got trucks actually stashed over in Refugio.
they do. They're ready to go everywhere. They
Yeah.
got trucks in Cuero, up and down 59. They can handle all your towing record needs. If you ever need them, they're the ones we call, 578-6300. Chesnick Furniture Company, 116 West One Lynn for 105 years plus. Bobby Leon
I
and
saw
his
Bobby
dad and
last
his family
Monday.
have been selling furniture at Chesnick.
Yep. Bobby was at the Democratic National Committee. I'm sorry, the Republican National Committee meeting on Monday. I always do that. I don't know why I go Democrat first.
Because we know how you really feel.
Yeah, I'm an undercover
Yep,
Democrat.
that's exactly what's happening. Agent.
Secret squirrel.
Chesnick Furniture used to be on Main, then they moved around the corner, built a building and facility that has more than met your needs and theirs. For over 70 years at their current location on 116 West One Lynn. American-made furniture, American-made appliances. You can get it at Chesnick Furniture Company. Veracruz, simply the best Mexican food in town. Today is Caldo Wednesday. Bobby Leister will be there with his bib.
Has this bib got a hole in that catch thing in the bottom of it?
It does.
Tilt it back and
Yeah, and then slurp out of it. Absolutely.
yeah. They
It's the
just
only
ought
way
to
eat
pour it in the
Caldo.
bib and give him a straw.
Probably should. I need a bib when I eat Caldo, just
Oh,
because I
man.
slurp and splash.
I need a bib for eating anything. You know, I
that's
get it
true.
on that upper shelf. That's snacks for later.
Clayton Meyer, good morning. Scott,
It's a little far off, too small a writing.
Casey Lynn Kemp says funding the Ukraine stops.
We hope
and a
so.
war starts in Israel. Things that make you go, I don't think we've stopped funding Ukraine.
Well, it won't be as much.
Clayton Meyer says, go Astros. Christina Wise checking in. So a good time to get to our Astros update brought to you by the fine folks at First State Bank. Junior can take a sip of coffee, take a break.
Wake me up when it's over.
Astros got to get off the schneid. They've dropped the first two games of the series against the Rangers. As we all know, it resumes tonight. The winner of the Astros-Rangers will face the winner of the Phillies-Diamondbacks, and 2 games in, it's looking like it's all Phillies. 10-0 win over the Diamondbacks yesterday.
Did you see the guy get tackled at the Phillies game?
I did not.
Bill was talking about it this morning. Some guy jumped down on the field, and the security guard grabbed him up and
Good for him.
shook him out like a dish rag.
I have no problem when that happens.
No, I don't
to be
either.
honest.
I don't either.
Oh.
Act like a jerk. So, what is
Yeah,
it? Brent
Diamondbacks
says?
are looking like the team that wasn't expected to make the playoffs. They're just not quite
Well, it's
not
good they
quite
made it
where
this
they
far.
yeah, not quite where they've miscommunication in the outfield, miscommunication in the infield. Balls are dropping that should be caught. Just not good. Not good play. Christian Javier on the mound. Max Scherzer makes his first postseason start for the Rangers tonight. So should be a good pitching matchup. Javier looked really good in his one and only postseason outing against the Twins. So let's see if the Astros can't play better on the road as they have all season long as this thing moves to Globe Life Field up in Arlington. I think they're calling for, well, it's indoors, so it don't matter. Game time temps in the 60s. So there we go. Tom Price checking in. What are you chuckling about over there?
Stephen Kidder. He says he wants to know if Biden's going to visit the Tower of Babel when he's over there. Oh, Stephen, that's genius.
Of course he will. So Republicans proving once again that they can't seem to do anything right or even together.
Right.
Jim Jordan fell, what, 17 votes
17
shy?
Yeah. So
Democrats proving that they can all follow what's best for the party.
Right.
All 212 Democrats supported House
Well, we had
Minority
some
Leader Hakeem
Republicans vote
Jeffries.
against us too. That one in Nebraska and then one in North
Well,
Carolina.
but they didn't vote for him. They voted for, I think, what?
Scalise.
Scalise got a few. 20 Republicans voted for a different candidate. Kevin McCarthy got votes, even though he said he's not running. Scalise received votes. He said he wasn't running. Lee Zeldin, who's not even in the House, and you don't have to be a member of the House. It just helps. He's not running. He got votes. Scalise and McCarthy both voted for Jim Jordan.
Exactly. The representative from North Carolina, his wife came out on the news and said, if he doesn't vote for Jim Jordan, he will not be in office next year. Trust me. Ooh, yes, dear.
What's she going to do?
What would you do? I know your wife. She would.
Yeah. Vote for Jim Jordan.
Vote for Jim Jordan. Yes, ma'am.
So, yeah, 2 weeks now without a speaker, and
I will vote twice for him.
You know, some are calling Matt Gaetz a hero. I think Matt Gaetz is a bit of a zero.
I don't know. I kind of like him. He may not have put a lot of bills out there, but it took some huevos to stand up and go, this guy did exactly what he was told not to do, and we're going to stand up and do what we told him we were going to do.
My point is, you had plenty of opportunity before the summer to oust them for not doing what you wanted to do. We had Michael Cloud on here and said they actually introduced 4 appropriations bills. So they were making progress in getting rid of the continuing resolutions and voting on appropriations packages as they came, and not big, massive omnibus spending bills. So they were making some progress. Matt Gaetz just figured it wasn't quick enough. So,
Some people are a little closer to the trigger than most. Some people are a little closer to the trigger than most.
Yeah, so
he just pulled the trigger.
I don't know. And I wouldn't call Matt Gaetz a rhino, but
nope.
I think he's misguided. And again, I looked, you know.
Well, I knew McCarthy wasn't going to be good when they put him in.
No, I wasn't a big fan of McCarthy, but I thought he had done a better job than I was even expecting him to do.
He's a hell of a lot better than Pelosi.
Jordan didn't want it the first time around.
Yeah.
Roy Gutierrez says Republicans don't know what they want. It's turning into a crap show.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
But what Matt did is not have a contingency plan. Absolutely. There was no contingency.
But there's no problem with shutting down the government. We wouldn't have had any problem shutting down the government. Social Security would have got paid. The military would have got paid. All the
they
crap.
would have got their back pay.
Yeah. Well, see, I've been involved in that. And I got back pay. Not with interest, but I did get paid. It's going to happen. But I knew that whenever I heard that they were going to start doing that,
well, and here's
I started stockpiling food and putting money in the bank.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you're smarter than most.
Well, do not admit that in public.
What you didn't see was him slide me $20 to say that.
Yeah, but you owe me 19 and change.
Yeah, I know. But I owe you. Oh, I don't have any ones. Sorry.
Make it rain, baby.
No, I just lost my appetite.
I'm good for that.
For the week. Maybe the month.
I'm good for that.
Maybe the month.
Well, you know, I took pity on you. I felt sorry for you the last 2 days. You was by yourself. I said, I got to get in there. I said, I don't feel good on Monday and Tuesday, but Wednesday, I was just
getting comfortable. I mean, I appreciate you stopping by.
There was a lot of people who were like, that's dead air. Is he going to say something? Is he going to say, oh, good, he's talking.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to pause and collect your thoughts. Happens.
Brent just writes it down on a piece of paper.
No, he does not.
I've seen it. It's on the back of his hand.
I've got it right here.
All the way up his arm.
So, our Astros report brought to you by First State Bank of Louise. Stop on by, not only in Louise and Victoria, Salem, and Stockbauer, plus locations scattered throughout South Texas and in Sugar Land. Just great people to work with and great folks to handle all your banking needs. And their loans are handled locally. They don't send them off to some national processing center in Phoenix or anything like that.
It's nice to bank locally.
I agree.
I miss First Victoria National Bank. I really do. It was a good bank. So they sold out. Well, they had to.
Greg Garcia, as a blind chimp, says would have been a better speaker than Nancy Pelosi. But you know what? She did exactly what the Democrats required of her.
Yep.
She wasn't going anywhere. The only thing I do kind of like about this a little bit, though, is this has sort of stopped the next one up. It's my turn to be speaker parade to the speaker chair that the Republicans have sort of been used to.
BJ's got something here.
BJ. Boehner was kind of next one up, right?
Yeah.
I think even McCarthy a little bit felt it was sort of his.
Yeah.
Just by ascension.
Boehner, God, I got so much, no pun intended, but mixed emotions about Boehner. I mean, BJ's got a good question. Have you heard about Biden's campaign coffers being flush with money from China and Ukraine? Where did that come from?
I've not heard.
I've not heard about that. Where did you hear this, BJ? So,
well, they can probably donate to PACs and
absolutely, but from China.
Well, they're buying all the Hunter Biden's art.
Well, not only that, but we've been giving a lot of money to the Ukraine. I wonder how much of that's trickling back.
Well, it's been proven some of it's been trickling back.
Laundered. So maybe they just need to level Ukraine and turn it
BJ
into
Nelson
a big
says
laundry
Fox
mat.
News. I didn't see that.
I didn't see that either
on here. David Glass, good morning. Judge Posey checking in. Appreciate you. Should we take our next break and then bring Rick Jones in and talk VISD?
Yeah, we interviewed him last hour, and it was good.
Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. I think Tuesday night is where we're going to be. Wade and Carter night at Palace Bingo. Great Barn Design for all your design needs. Give Cheryl a call, 920-6803. She will handle all your decorations and designs for weddings, events, parties, Christmas, Thanksgiving, you name it.
I like her store.
She can do it, and the store's right there. Just got a shipment of those lovely French milled soaps in. And smell good, don't I? Not today, no. But you can stop on by. It's theater of the mind. You could have faked it.
We're on Facebook, man.
Nobody was going to know.
Nah, Grey Barn's a nice place. My wife really likes it. She's helping us get our rugs for
I
our
like
new
it
house.
when your wife really likes it too.
Yeah. Well, that's not very often at my house.
Money. No.
Oh, you talking about it at the Grey Barn? Yeah,
Grey Barn Mercantile.
Yeah, we have
right
to
there.
go over and pay our dues.
Laurent and Airline. Astronov for a South Texas tradition since 1926. Stop on by, check out all the brand new Chevrolets, Mitsubishis, and Mazdas. Great selection of pre-owned vehicles, and you can browse from the comfort of your phone and living room at AstonOffer.com. Armor Air, 579-0966.
Good friend of mine, and did a very, very good job air conditioning my house.
There you go.
Let me tell you something.
We use
they
them,
came
you should
in
use them too.
And did the whole air conditioning job. Before they left, they cleaned up all their mess, plus a little bit of mess that was left by some of the other contractors.
And your mess.
Yeah. Of course, I was throwing it over there so they'd
Absolutely, so they'd pick it up.
I'm not stupid.
Well, you are just not that way. Have the chopping block.
Best meat in town.
Yep, stop on by today. They've got the full menu at their food truck or trailer sitting outside. So
the boudin
they
is
will
amazing.
not be there tomorrow. They've got a big catering event out Cuero way, so they won't be there tomorrow. So today's the day. If you want to get by the chop block, then they'll be back there Friday. But in the meantime, if you want to cook your own meat, stop on in. And
their ribeyes are amazing.
They've still got steaks on sale and ground beef too. So I was stopped in there yesterday.
You know, it's when you buy meat from this place, you're not buying because it's so much cheaper. You're buying because the meat quality is
so much better.
So,
but it isn't any more expensive either.
No, well, they're cheaper than Sam's. Their ribeyes are about $1 cheaper per pound. And Linda and I go over there and we get 4 or 5, and then I eat mine and I give her the bone, and
there you go.
I'm coming home, honey. Don't hit me.
Locks will be changed.
I got a knife.
Yeah, Roy Gutierrez must have stopped by. Ribeye is just $9.
Yeah, I mean they're amazing.
Yeah,
I was
$5
highly
ground
impressed.
beef. Yeah.
They're marbled the marbling on them is amazing.
And they'll cut the brisket to any size that you want. So
Yep.
if you don't want to, you smaller cookout on a weekend, they can get that down to 6 or 8 pound brisket for you.
And the steaks, you can actually split it between 2 people. I mean, they're
They're
big.
good size, yeah. Absolutely.
The boudin, oh my Lord, that boudin is good. I love good boudin. Wow, you get applause. I get laughter.
Ooh, wow.
Those might work.
Oh, those might work.
Yeah. Roll the dice. You might get some headphones.
I don't know. We'll see.
Can
They're
you hear
working?
No, I can't hear anything.
Nothing?
Okay. Well, now we can talk about him.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Now?
Well, no, not the.
Oh, everybody hears me. I can
Yeah.
be standing in
Still
a room.
no.
My voice just carries. The wife's like, why are you yelling? I'm not yelling. My voice carries.
I don't know what's going on. Oh, well. You can hear us anyway.
Yeah, I
How
hear
are
you.
you, Rick Jones?
I'm doing great. Doing great. Thanks for having me this morning. I appreciate
Absolutely.
it. Yeah.
Brian Small
How-
asked,
how
why
was the
does
commute
Junior
from
get
the
to sit
Posies?
down on the show?
If I stand up, it's a medical issue.
Yeah, this is basically keeping him from peeing his pants.
You got it right. You got it right. That surgery made things a little bit uncomfortable.
Leaky?
Yes.
Pass through.
When the wife whistles at you and yells, "Here, dribbles." Yeah, I have to sit down or I'll have to take a break.
There you go. Karen Webb checking in. Scott Tomko says should have done a bagpipe lead in for Rick. I don't have any. I didn't have my pipes queued.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, Scott and I, we worked together before, and I do play the bagpipes.
No way.
Oh, that's what he's talking about. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, I just put a post last week. I played him in church this past week, so I put it up.
And
on
your property
Facebook.
values are still high?
Yeah, yeah.
No,
well,
he has no neighbors. He's been able to buy all the
That's
surrounding
right.
One
property.
of my
You live in
neighbors
the
came
county?
over the other day. He's banging on the door at 3 a.m. I don't know what's going on, but at least I was already up practicing my bagpipes. So
Yeah.
it didn't wake me up. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Do the flames come out the top of your bagpipes?
Not
like
yet.
that?
I got to work on. I've seen those. I don't
That
have those.
is cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Brian Small says he actually thought you were standing. Poor joke.
You know, I ran into Stephen Kidder at the 205 the other day. I walked up to him. Oh, goodness gracious.
What are you doing over there?
The daughter's calling through. I ran into Stephen Kidder, and he walked up and he goes, "Wow, you really are taller in life." He says, "You stand next to Brent, and good gravy." I'm like, "No, I just sit down."
BJ Nelson says we're all like a video of bad dad jokes this morning. So.
Oh, yeah. I'm on that page on Facebook. It's hilarious. Bad dad jokes.
Some of
It's
them are.
great. It is
I've not
great.
seen that one.
Rick, what's going on, man?
Well-
What's happening?
Well, what we've got going on the school board is that there is a subcommittee made up of Mandy Lingle, Kathy Bell, and myself. And what we've been working on is trying to get a better handle on the budget and where the money's going and how best to use the money. We've decided we want to hear from the public. So we've been having a series of public forums. We had the first one this past Monday night at Hopkins. We got the next 4 Monday nights.
How
at
the one?
5:30.
How was turnout at Hopkins?
It was a little light. It was about 20 people were there. It wasn't horrible.
That's better than a lot of the no-shows when
yeah.
sometimes it happens.
Yep. So, I mean, and the people that were there had a lot of good comments, a lot of good ideas. So
Good.
it was very positive. You know, the more the better. So I'm here kind of plugging it. We're going to be at Crane this coming Monday. Then the Monday, I'm looking at my list here. The 30th, we're going to be out at Scholomer. On November 6th, we're going to be at the STEM Middle School. And then November 13th, we'll be at the Smith Elementary STEM. So 5:30 every Monday night for the next 4 Mondays.
In the
Then-
cafeteria or where you?
Yeah, we met this
Okay.
in the cafeteria primarily.
Okay.
And I'll be honest with you, I didn't know about these.
I know that it.
No, the reason
Yeah.
your turnout's low is because,
But it got out on Facebook Monday morning
Right.
from the school district, so that's
Right.
going to help. Now the newspaper had a good article on Tuesday about it, so I hope that's going to help. And then, of course, everybody listens to this radio show, so that's going to help that we're here. So
Should help.
Yeah.
What are you hearing from the people? What's been the biggest feedback
well,
that they've given you?
it's a lot of different ideas that they've had around how to save. We can save money here, we can save money there. Because as you know, the budget this year is projected at a $2 million deficit.
right.
So we're trying to figure out how we can save money, but also how do we direct the funds that we do have? Because we got 2 big issues. One is paying people, and the other, which is about 80% of our budget.
Yeah.
And then we got some old schools. If you
know-
think about the newest schools are 15 years old,
Yeah.
and they're starting to have some wear and tear on them. So we
Are the
need
new
to
high
start-
schools 15 years old?
Yes,
already?
they are. Yeah,
Wow.
it's amazing. It's been 15 years already.
Yeah.
We were taking a bus ride one day, the board, looking at different things, and we went past the natatorium, which is 15 years old as well, right?
Yeah.
And they said, there's 3 boilers in there, and 2 of them are down for maintenance right now. Fortunately, it was the heat of the summer, and they didn't need the hot
Right,
water yet. But
right.
come wintertime, they got to get those boilers
Yeah,
up and
'Cause
running.
that's
So
how they
it's-
heat that building.
Yeah, and keep the water warm.
Yeah.
So that's how things, it's 15 years of terror.
Wait a minute. When I went to school, we didn't have air conditioning or hot water.
Well, they didn't have
These
books either,
kids.
right? It was all papyrus.
Yes. Papyrus. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Draw on the dirt.
What is your charge as a budget subcommittee?
So it's primarily to help, figure out what the split should be between maintenance and salaries, and we wanted to hear what the public had to say. So we're having these public forums, and even though on Monday night, the three of us on the subcommittee did the speaking, but there's three other board members there listening as well. So it's not like they're not interested. They're coming when they can. One board member had to work; she couldn't be there, but they're all there listening as well. And we broke up into 3 small groups after the presentation and just collected thoughts. I haven't seen all the writing from the other 2 groups. I just heard some of the suggestions from my group.
What were some of those suggestions that you had heard?
Well, one of them is, do we really need to buy new textbooks every year, right? Or can we just reuse the textbooks?
And amend.
Yeah, I remember when I was in school, you would get somebody else's book, and half the fun was saying, well, look, who had this book before you, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I knew him, yeah. So I don't know the answers to those things. That we're just collecting those thoughts right now. So again, then we'll have to process them. The plan is for the subcommittee to get all that information in November, and then make a formal recommendation to the rest of the board in January. And that's when the budgeting process starts.
Any preconceived notions from you 3 as the budget subcommittee going in?
No. We it's interesting. We each, at our very first subcommittee meeting, we each filled out a survey that we haven't shared with the other 2 yet on our thoughts on how this should end up. And then when we get some more data, then we'll start sharing our thoughts. But I don't know what Kathy and Mandy thought. I know what I thought. So it's kind of interesting.
But you're not spilling the beans yet.
No, I don't want to spill. I don't want to prejudice any thinking or anything. Right. So I just want to collect a good brainstorming session.
We talk spin.
Tammy Keeling says the state buys the textbooks.
Okay. Well, so maybe that's not quite as effective then. That was an idea that somebody had. So,
is there anything that you saw that this school has that could be cut, that is just absolutely not necessary?
Not that I've seen, no. I've looked at
like Hug a Kitten or
the 5 months since I've been there. That's primarily my focus has been learning how the budget works. I like numbers,
yeah,
and I like budgeting. I know I'm kind of sick that way, but so learning where the budget goes, and it's not like there's a whole pile of money sitting around that I've been able to find anywhere. So,
oh, he's turning the camera on.
Oh, okay.
I thought I did something, but
okay,
it wasn't me.
Right. So yeah,
there we go.
It's not like there's a whole big pile of money sitting there just waiting to be spent. So.
I can get up and walk over there.
So, no, we're good. We're visiting with Rick Jones, VISD superintendent. So if there's not a big pile of money sitting around, then why are we wasting time with the budget subcommittee and these public meetings?
Well, it's just trying to figure out what the priorities should be for the school district and talk about what some of the other options are. There's a lot of different ways. Well, the big things is getting attendance up, because the money that we get every day or not
depends on attendance.
It depends on attendance, right? And of course,
attendance was down last year.
Attendance was down last year. It's been down since COVID, right? It still hasn't recovered. But this money's
where's those kids go? Do we know?
Well, some of them just don't come to school. Some of them, I think the homeschooling has increased.
Yeah.
I know a lot of the private schools, they're pretty well maxed out, so it's not like their head count has increased much.
Johnny Hodden says, why haven't you guys transitioned to textbooks from textbooks to online? His kids are issued a Chromebook at the beginning of the year, and the textbooks are all online. I know a lot of universities are moving this way.
Yeah.
To online.
They do some of it online. Like he said, that the middle school all has Chromebooks and stuff, so, yeah. Some of that transition.
I can answer that for you, Johnny. There's too much money being made by friends of those in state government who write and publish textbooks that
someone
the
has
state,
a brother-in-law.
Yeah, the state isn't going to get out of it. They're able to move too much taxpayer dollars to their buddies.
Yeah.
Who publish the textbooks, and their buddies who control which textbooks get printed, and then that is controlled. That they control the ones that are bought. It's a racket. It really is.
Legal graft, illegal graft, and just plain stealing.
Yeah.
This would be legal graft, but it's a racket down here. I mean, it's crazy when you think about who controls that process and
whose brother-in-law has
who's
a business.
making the money off it. Yeah. No, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we don't have any say in that. We're just told here's the textbooks you're using.
Right.
So
until some parent reads through there and sees something goofy and then brings it up.
I mean, anything earth-shattering so far that has opened your eyes to maybe a different way that
I wouldn't say anything earth-shattering. No, it's just right now. The past 5 months is learning how the system works, and I've come a long way on that. understand.
How's that learning curve? Has it been like
It's been
90
pretty
degrees?
steep, yeah. Now, there's some similarities between what I did at the plant and what I do here.
Right.
With the budgetings. They have different words, but it's basically the same thing. So that's helped a little bit. The curve hasn't been quite as steep. So,
How is the budgeting process? Is it sort of we start from last year's budget and adjust, or is it zero-based?
Zero-based.
Absolutely.
Zero-based budgeting, absolutely. And they start at the schools. The schools all have campus improvement plans, and it includes parents on those, putting those programs together, and they figure out what they want, and then they start rolling and meshing those together, and that's how it's from the bottom up kind of budgeting process.
Well, see, that's what I think the
zero-based.
subcommittees are for too. They get the public opinion involved,
That's right.
and then that takes some of the heat off of you whenever something hits a fan.
And that'll provide some of the
These
feedback
people-
back to the campuses too, as they put
Yeah.
their campus improvement plans
Yep.
together.
Yep.
Yeah. So it'll go both ways. So
But
Tammy says correct. There is not a pile of money.
yeah.
no, wait a minute. She took a pile with her. Just kidding, Tammy. Don't get upset.
There was no money. There was no pile to take.
The pile's gone.
That's why we're going to be at $2 million deficit if we don't do something this year, right? So
$2 million deficit. Is that primarily because of the attendance numbers?
no, the big part of it was the unmandated edict about having armed officers and some of the other security
Right.
changes we had to make. The laws came out,
And that
but
was
there no
unfunded,
funds.
too.
Unfunded, right?
Yeah.
So and we had some SROs already, but we didn't have one at every campus like we do now.
Yeah.
So that was part, and there was other infrastructure security issues that we needed to deal with. And there's a video on Facebook where they talk about the new fencing that's put up, and we put vestibules in all the schools now so that when somebody comes in, the receptionist is protected, and they can't just break in.
Right.
You know, that's all been.
You know, it's a
double
shame that we
entry
have to
and-
run our schools like a prison.
I
Yeah.
know it is, but
It's an absolute shame.
there are parts of this world that are pretty sick. So you got to protect the children. That's the primary,
Absolutely.
right? It's,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's all cost that wasn't in the budget. Well, I shouldn't say it's not in the budget. It's unfunded.
Yeah.
Right.
The state didn't give you any
The
dollars.
state
They
said
just
fix
told
this,
you.
but here's no money to do it.
Yeah, that was kind of a bad deal.
Yeah.
How's recruitment of teachers coming from your perspective as a board member? I know there's a lot of vacancies, but is it improving?
Yeah, what they and of course I don't have a whole lot of background on this, but one of the things that Dr. Shepard said when we started this year was the lowest number of openings that we've had in a long time. So we had a lot of slots filled up, which was pretty good. So still, I think there's only 15 openings, somewhere around there for teachers.
Wow.
Which is pretty low, right? So, and it helps that we have this new bridge program where people that want to be teachers that aren't certified, they can be
Right.
like a low-paid
Teacher's aide,
teacher,
yeah.
and we help them
Get their certificates.
get their certificates and
Yeah.
stuff, which is a neat
Yeah.
program to help fill some of those holes.
Yeah, I
that
know a
we've got.
couple of people who've gone that route to become teachers.
Yeah, it's a pretty
Kurth.
neat program.
Yeah.
Kurth? Yeah, Kurth is in that program.
Yeah.
Oh, is he? I did
James
not
Kurth,
know
yeah,
that. I did
he's
not know
teaching over
Kurth.
there.
He's
Okay, that's
teaching,
three
yeah.
I know now.
Yeah, his drinking went up too.
Yeah, he's teaching computer science. Go
Yeah.
figure.
Yeah. Well, that's what he does.
Yeah.
So, you know, by looking at him, you don't think he's that smart. You know.
Or talking to him.
Yeah. I mean, you know, he's got real short legs, so them knuckles kind of drag a lot.
James, you still there? you're probably driving to campus now. So, Rick, give us the date and time again of the
Okay.
next two, because people in radio have a short memory, and
I
so we're not going to
Well,
remember.
it's in the
anything,
paper
but-
this morning
It's
too.
in the
so-
paper this morning, but the next one is Monday the 23rd, 5:30 at Crane Elementary. Then October 30th, Monday at Charlemont Elementary up there in North Crest.
And something that I brought up was, if you don't have to have kids in school to do this.
That's right.
You as a taxpayer have the right and privilege to be there.
And the other thing, that's a good point, Junior. The other thing is we're trying to do one of these in each of the 5 districts,
Right.
just to kind of move around town.
I
But
noticed
that
that.
doesn't mean you're limited to that district. Anybody can come to any meeting.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It depends on your schedule of which one is easiest for
And
you.
this Monday's at Hopkins. No,
Yeah,
we were at
Crane.
Hopkins.
Hopkins
Crane.
was this past
Yeah.
Monday. Crane is the one coming up.
James Kerr says he did not do the bridge program. That's a
Oh.
different program.
Oh,
so
okay.
we lied.
Well, that was a bridge to nowhere
Yeah.
then.
Roy Gutierrez says no one reads the Advocate. So,
Wait a minute. My parrot used to love to read the Advocate.
well, I'm going to play. Let me ask you a devil's advocate question,
Sure.
because the perception is in the past, and why nobody showed up to some of these things in the past is because it didn't matter.
Right.
Voices weren't going to be heard.
Okay. That's fair. That's a fair
I think
fair
that's
statement.
got to
Guys,
change.
perception is it seems to be changing, but are you getting some resistance at all from folks, or like has anybody expressed that to you? Why are you
Nobody-
wasting your time? You guys don't listen to us anyway.
Well, those are the people that don't show up, right?
Right.
The ones that were there said, "Hey, we really appreciate y'all doing this. We hope this is a change, and we want to see more of this kind of
Right.
stuff." So we did get a lot of encouragement. And again,
Good.
even 3 of the board members that are not on the subcommittee were there to listen, right? So it's not like we don't care what they have to say. They
Right.
took the time
Yeah,
out
this
of their
isn't a bunch
schedule.
of passive people sitting there on a board. They're involved and invested.
Right, and we all have the same goal in mind, and that's to educate our children, make them productive members of society. That's the goal of the board. It's everybody in the school
Exactly.
district. That's their goal.
Well, that's our job as parents too.
Yes.
We are to make those children a non-burden on society.
That's right. A positive. They need to be
Yes.
positive.
Yes.
Not just neutral. We need to be positive.
Yes.
All of us need to help
Go
grow
forth and procreate.
society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring us them grandbabies.
Yeah. Well, but it's not just that. I mean, you need to add to the economy as well, right?
Well,
As opposed
absolutely.
to subtract from the economy.
Well, but we've got to start producing kids that can leave high school and be productive members
Right.
But you know,
in
a
the
lot of-
economy.
we have the
You
CTE
know?
program. There's like dozens of opportunities for
Yeah.
these kids, and a lot of them come out when they already have their industry certificates in welding or
Yeah.
ready to be a journeyman
Yep.
pipe
Or
fitter
their associates in college.
Yeah, and that
That one
saves a lot
impresses
of
me.
money for the parents. to
Yeah,
get
the
to
dual
college.
credit is-
yeah, a lot of
is
dual
huge.
credit.
Yes.
And yeah, it's come a long way.
And
A
I
lot of
think,
kids-
and I said this on Posey show, the best degree I have is a DD 214.
yeah, we had I think there were 7 seniors last year that were already enlisted in the military
Yeah.
before they graduated, which is great.
Well, see, they can enlist at 17.
Yeah,
And now this is the way it was a while back, and go to boot camp during summer, come back, finish their senior year, and then they're
right in. They're right ready.
They walk right into
They
the
got
fleet.
MOS and everything, and they're going. Yeah.
James Kerr says he falls under CTE and teaches AP computer science
There
and
you
principles
go.
of applied engineering. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, Rick, appreciate your time.
You bet.
Appreciate stopping by,
Gentlemen.
letting people know when these are, and appreciate more importantly your dedication to improving the school
Thanks.
district.
Appreciate it, and hope to see you all there.
Come out
Right.
to the ranch.
All right, we'll do that. All right.
Bring the wife out. We'll have supper.
Okay.
Rick Jones, trustee for VISD, stopping by, telling us about opportunities to give your feedback to his budget subcommittee, but also others that are there as well. So trying to improve the fiscal direction of this district as well.
You know, I'm actually feeling kind of positive about our school district in the last 6-8 months with BJ becoming a member and Rick. And now he's starting all these subcommittees to get people to start listening. I see a positive change in the school board. So, but I wonder where we're going to go from here. What's the next step? We got the ball rolling. Now, what do we got to do to put the ball in the goal? A sports metaphor.
Nicely done. Didn't know you knew any of those.
Well, you know, a blind hog finds an acorn every now and then.
Ricky King checking in.
Good morning, Ricky. Where are you at today? He was in Oklahoma yesterday.
Yeah, I think he was in Oklahoma, but I think he's here now. So let's see what else is happening. U.S. yesterday announcing that we'll restrict some semiconductor exports to China. Why are we More importantly, why are we importing semiconductors from China?
You know, that brings up the semiconductor issue. We need to watch Taiwan with what's going on in Gaza Strip and Ukraine. Taiwan's next. What's to stop China from coming in and take over Taiwan? Now we're going to be on 3 fronts.
Yeah.
And if that happens, that's not going to be good because they'll shut us down.
It does make
for
you wonder if
semiconductors.
China's not. Well, and let's be honest here. China's the biggest buyer of oil from Iran.
Right. They found those Chinese weapons on the other side of the Israel border.
Well, North Korean weapons.
Oh, is it North Korean?
But China funds
Chinese,
North
North
Korea.
Korean.
Where does North Korea buy them and the technology? From China. So China is, by proxy, funding Hamas.
Right.
And don't think
Exactly.
they're not watching our reactions to this.
Well, the guy who's in the office outside of Joe Biden is already calling to China and letting them know what's going on. So
I have no knowledge of that.
Well, I'm being facetious, of course.
I know you are.
But, we've had senators who've had Chinese drivers that were, wasn't it
Swalwell
Feinstein?
was,
Yeah.
Swalwell
Feinstein
was-
had a driver that was for the Chinese spy.
well, our Senate Minority Leader,
Yeah.
the Republican, Mitch McConnell, he's married to a Chinese shipping magnate's daughter. So,
Oh, no
yeah,
kidding.
Yeah, no kidding. The ties
get-
run deep on both sides and that's why they all hated Donald Trump, because he was coming after all of them.
You can't write
Didn't
comedy
matter.
like that.
No,
The
he was
ties
coming
run
after
deep.
all of them. Look at that, Ricky King's back home.
Oh,
Crazy
does his
stuff.
wife know that?
Well, conveniently, she didn't check in this morning. She
Yeah.
checked in yesterday. So hey,
She probably went to Oklahoma.
someone's got to win the money back that he lost at WinStar.
I know, sir. She's fun.
New Mexico prosecutors are bringing involuntary manslaughter charges against Alec Baldwin.
Yes. Ain't that something?
Interesting, because I thought the charges or earlier charges were dropped. So it's an interesting development in that case. I wonder where the pressure came to finally, or is it just for show and it's going to be like the last one?
Yeah,
He's gonna be
they'll
found not guilty
raise
and
it
nothing
up
will
and let
happen.
him go.
But
That poor person that got killed, that's terrible. So, where are you getting this webpage? That's really a nice webpage.
Wyndham Hotels and Resorts
Really?
rejected a takeover from Choice Hotels. I don't know that I want Wyndham being owned by Choice.
I don't stay there. We stayed at a Drury up in Missouri. Stayed in a Drury up in Missouri. That was really
Wasn't bad?
nice. It was great. We had breakfast in the morning, supper at night, and a cocktail hour. You got 3 shots of whiskey at night. So, yeah. And it was like $140 a night. Nice rooms. We were a ways off from the downtown area, so it wasn't so bad.
Nice.
Yeah, had a pool, so I left a ring in that thing.
There you go. Hezbollah is saying they're calling for a day of rage today
Yeah.
in response to that hospital blast, which Israel claims it wasn't theirs, and
Of
even Joe
course.
Biden has said it wasn't.
Of
So
course.
Jordan declared 3 days of mourning for the victims. See this again.
Aren't they?
Hamas will use their own people as shields. They
Yep.
will use their own people as martyrs. And the UN
Absolutely.
Security Council scheduled an emergency meeting for this morning over this.
This is crazy.
Fears of a wider war.
I am so glad that Netanyahu is prime minister right now.
Absolutely.
That guy, he was in, I think, which war? He was in one of the big wars, 7-Day War? Wasn't that in the 60s?
67, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he was in that 7-Day War. He was one of their paratroopers.
And his brother was killed in, I think, the rescuing of a bunch of hostages on an airplane,
Yeah. I mean,
which no hostages were killed. They killed the terrorists, and I think Netanyahu's brother was killed.
Mm.
So, yeah.
Couldn't ask for a better prime
Arab
minister right
countries
now.
critical of the U.S. for the support of Israel, saying they have no moral standing in this region. No, I think they do, because regardless of our president at the moment, who doesn't seem to care for democracy, Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East.
I tend to agree with that.
And if we do not stand with them for democracy and for democratic values,
It's
they're
not gonna
both
be good.
no, it's not going to be good.
I'm very fearful of what Iran's going to pull. They are just way crazy.
Yeah.
They're going to pull the trigger on that bomb, and then next thing you know, we're going to have a bunch of glass over there.
It's funny because the mainstream media hasn't talked about this at all, right?
Well, why should they?
But remember how close we were to World War III the day Donald Trump got elected?
Oh, yeah, he's going to get us into World War III. Is that the guy you want at 3 o'clock in the morning when the phone call's made? At least he'd answer the phone.
We were closer to World War III the day Donald Trump got elected in November of 2016 than we had ever been, according to the leftists and the fearmongers.
Whack jobs.
We are currently closer to a war on a worldwide
Global
scale
Yeah.
than we ever were under Donald Trump.
Yep. Because
I mean,
they know
that's
they can get away with it.
That's a fact. Two major conflicts going on right now in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Russia invaded Ukraine on Biden's watch. Hamas was emboldened enough to strike and declare war on Israel. Donald Trump had made progress on he had Abraham Accords, peace accords with Israel and a bunch of countries in the Middle East that they had not had any peace with. And my understanding, Syria was next on that list, and Biden hasn't revisited it.
You know, James Kurth, he says, Iran has some interesting capabilities. Don't assume they can't touch Israel in a bad way.
Oh, I don't assume that they can't at all.
No.
Remember how outraged the left was when Donald Trump ordered the strike to take out Soleimani and did so on a desolate road leading from the airport in Baghdad? And the left was upset over the, two other people that died in that attack?
You know,
well, they had families.
I've been watching a lot of stuff on, being that I can't go play outside, I've been watching a lot of documentaries on Israeli versus Islamic warfare. That deal in the 70s where they kidnapped the Olympic hostages from Israel. Holy mackerel. I would not want to mess with Israel.
Munich?
In Munich.
The Olympic,
yeah.
72 games, right?
I would not want to mess with Israel. The Mossad took 30 years to get every one of those guys. They got long memories.
Yeah.
And they did it in some of the most craziest ways. So, you know, Israel's going to wipe these guys out. They've already said they're going to take it down to the roots.
Well, this is what nobody was talking about, and we've got a couple of minutes, but the Arab countries don't want the Palestinians. I think Jordan even said they don't bring a demographic we want into this country. That was nice speak for they're a bunch of terrorists and harboring terrorists that we don't agree with, and we don't want them in our country because they're going to start doing this crap from our country, and then we're going to be pulled into it.
Exactly.
But nobody's talking about the fact that the only way you wipe out Hamas is you have to wipe out Gaza.
Level it and rebuild it.
I mean, Biden was critical. Well, Israel can't occupy Gaza. Israel hasn't occupied it since 2005.
Well, that's when they signed a treaty over to it.
With the promise of peace.
Right. And they've kept it.
There's the only time peace has been broken there is when Hamas does what they did 2 Saturdays ago.
Yep.
I watched video of some guy urging his young son to throw rocks at an Israeli soldier so that he would shoot the kid so they could use that in their propaganda war against Israel. And the Israeli soldiers just stood there and said, this kid, I was 6 or 7 years old, not very old. He wasn't going to do anything. These are the parents raising these kids. It's nuts. But nobody wants to talk about that.
Well,
and the indoctrination and the brainwashing that's gone on.
They're starting to because, I mean, even Biden came out today and said, okay, they didn't blow up this hospital. Hamas did. So it's starting to come out that these nutcakes are actually bombing their own people. I mean,
but this doesn't end well for the people in Gaza and the Palestinians.
No, it doesn't.
Because there's really, I mean, when you've brainwashed them, indoctrinated them, and you hide among them,
well, Gaddafi,
it's like we learned in Afghanistan. How do you fight that war without just annihilation of everything?
Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein even used chemical weapons against their own people to blame it on other factions. I mean, it's a way of life with them.
Yeah, they have their. I mean, yeah, there's no moral values
Compass.
at all from the leaders over there.
Yep.
It's all about money and living a lifestyle. Hamas can bitch about the West and Western values and lifestyle while all their family are living in 5-star
High on the hog.
hotels
Yep.
and palaces while they've impoverished and uneducated their people. And the West somehow has sympathy for Hamas in all of this. It's simply amazing.
Well, it's brainwashing. It's believing in a radical belief.
But how does the West find sympathy for terrorists like Hamas? That's the part I don't get.
Well, they can't.
They do though. Our media,
Well, the media can.
and then the people do. Look at these rallies. Don't have a bunch of rallies on campuses for Israel.
yeah,
They're
well,
all,
that's true. Well,
you know.
maybe it's the two factions that we have in this country called the media and our colleges. We've got so many liberals running these colleges and teaching in these colleges that they're brainwashing, and we're not getting our money for our education out of these kids because they come back all jacked up.
Well, you'll see a change because too many of these billionaire donors are
Bailing out.
on. But here, why do these people even need to donate to Ivy League schools at this point?
Especially with the trust funds and the endowments and all that
Yeah.
stuff that they have.
Go find some colleges that really make a difference at the local levels.
Find a VOTEC.
That gift is a life-changing and a campus-changing gift. Your gift does nothing to change anything at Harvard if you
No.
give them $1 million. Your $1 million gift to UHV changes lives
Yep.
and transforms a campus.
You want to change somebody's life? Go down to VISD and pay off some kid's lunch bill.
There you go.
What's $100? You're going to spend $100 a month at Starbucks. Go down to VISD. Go look. I want to throw $100 on some of these kids' lunches. Feed a kid. Make his day better. Ash, thanks for having me.
Hey,
in.
thank you for stopping by. I appreciate
My
it.
pleasure. You guys have a great day.
Yep. Go Astros. They got to win tonight or this series is pretty much over. And Brent will be back tomorrow. Look forward to it, folks. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you all tomorrow. Bye,
You
folks.
betcha.
I've
Bye.
been shot at and cut with